views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a lineup we got going on for all y'all out there today. I'm Dr. Pat. I'm joined by my main man, Mr. Benny. Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hi, Pat. Doing very well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I am, I'm kind of feeling the joy juice today.
The joy juice. I like that.
I know. Maybe it's because, what have we had now, like 15 days of sunshine in a row?
A lot. We got to keep it going.
Got to keep it going. Got to keep the sun going, and the tomatoes are growing.
Yeah.
Did I say that? Did I just say that?
You can have mine.
Oh my gosh. Uh-oh.
Not a huge fan of tomatoes, no.
Well, you know why? Because
it's an Italian thing.
Linda and I were having a big New Jersey conversation about this. Look, there's tomatoes, and then there's tomatoes. Like there's corn, and then there's corn. And that means that look at what a New Jersey tomato looks like. Just take a look at the size of that thing, the juiciness. Now let's talk about corn for a minute. They ain't nothing like that Jersey corn. I'm telling you, you crack those, you just grab that stalk and you just crack that thing off there and you're just like eating it without even cooking it. But that's another show.
Right. Get our green thumb on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, those of you that are thinking of planning a trip to the East Coast, and if you're doing it right about this time, make sure you go to Central West New Jersey, anywhere along, Route 22. And if you see like a fruit stand or a vegetable stand, stop. But today, I'm just saying, for those of you that are tuning in, to have a little bit of a conversation with my very special guest, Elizabeth Joyce. This show is about unlimited realities. Unlimited realities. Born with the gift of sight and natural healing. So the question is, if that's you and you are born with that, what is it that you bump into in the many, many days of your life, the many, many years of your life, the many, many psychic experiences of your life, and how do you show up and go beyond anything that you think you might be to be this professional astrologer, spiritual counselor, energy healer, medium, clairvoyant, and someone who teaches new energies of the fifth dimension to millions? Well, that's because you're Elizabeth Joyce. Today, we're going to give away several copies of her books. We're going to open up the phone lines, but we're just going to get ready to have some good old fun. Elizabeth, great to have you here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. By the way, Pat, I grew up in New Jersey.
I know you did. I saw that. So wouldn't you agree, though, for just a moment, that when it comes to tomatoes and corn, that has got to be like a New Jersey thing, right?
Well, it is New Jersey, though I am in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and they have great stuff here, too. Next door. Doesn't count.
Yeah, nice way to not hurt any feelings right there. But, you know, Bucks County, though, is very close. I lived in Neshannock Station, Ringo's right out there. So it's kind of all the same kind of vibe, right?
Right.
That good soil. Talking about good soil, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about you. And one of the things I love to ask is, it's one thing for us to show up, you and I today, showing up, talking about your book, all the amazing things you're doing. as if life just happened and there you were. The question really is, I bet you've had a few bumps in the road. I'm not talking about bumps in the night, I'm talking about bumps in the road. What has it taken to become you?
Oh, my goodness.
There we go.
Well, first of all, I'm one of two sets of identical twins, and my twin and I did not get along.
Uh-oh.
Actually, there was something really wrong with her. It was very sad. And she was very difficult to be with for everybody, not just me.
Mm-hmm.
I do just talk a little bit about it in the book. But being her twin and having an overbearing, controlling father was very difficult. Plus, we were picked on in school. You know what that harassment is and what it does. But we were in the McCarthy era when we grew up. And our last name was Reich. We pronounced it Rich, but they would say the rise and fall of the Third Reich and those German traitors, and we would get beaten up, and the parents would encourage the kids, so it was very difficult.
Oh, yeah. What a tough time. A really tough time. People don't know about that. As a matter of fact, we got to bring some of this history back a little bit, don't we? We got to keep remembering some of this, I think.
We still have the badgering in school, but people, and I don't know whether it's gotten any better, Pat. I really don't. When you read about teenagers watching a man drown and filming it on their iPhone, it makes you wonder.
Well, it certainly makes you wonder. And here's what I want to say about that is just because we've become more aware doesn't mean we've become more willing.
The thing that happened in the 1960s when the Beatles came is when we started moving into the age of Aquarius, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
They brought an awful lot of wonderful insight to us through their music. But this other thing that happened was this guy named Dr. Spock came out with a book that said, never spank your children. So we lost something called discipline. And we went, now I agree that you shouldn't switch them or strap them, which is what used to happen in the 20s and 30s. Yeah. But now we're to the point of where we give them a pillow and tell them that they need to be better. So we need to get back to the center where we have organized, thoughtful discipline. Discipline is after the word disciple. If you're a disciple of your life, you need discipline. And when I was little, we didn't have the VCRs and the cell phones. We had us. We played outside, and when I got in trouble, I wound up going to my room, and there wasn't a radio or a TV in my room. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I lay down on the bed, and I went out of body, and I had a good time. I could go anywhere I wanted. And I learned how to perfect my inner being through my lifestyle.
Yeah, I love what we're talking about here for a minute, because we have this idea of... I didn't know we were going to talk about this today, but that's what I love about showing up. We have given the word discipline a really, really, really negative connotation. But discipline is not that. As a matter of fact, discipline, as my friend from Greece would say, every word in the world comes from the Greeks. That's what she would say. And discipline, disciple. The question is, what do we want to be a disciple of? Do we want to be a disciple of good living and thriving? Do we want to be that? Do we want to tap into that energy? And, when I think about you, Elizabeth, what I'm thinking about is you have a gift, and the gift that you have is not one of these things that you could turn away from and say, well, I ain't doing that thing.
People do, Pat. People do.
Yeah.
I know I did not choose to do that because my inner experiences. But I meet people all the time that I know are very gifted. Oh, I turned it down. I turned it off. It's all choice. It's all individual choice. Actually, my gift when I was little saved me because I could go into my mind and know, if that makes any sense to you. I didn't have to believe that I was bad or ugly or whatever. I went into mind and I created that which I desired and made it better and always asked to forgive the people. That's just who I was.
Yeah.
The first chapter of my book deals with discipline in a beautiful way, and it's been viewed and everybody loves it. The pine tree. I would be given to sit upon something that a child sits on and go to the tree, and I'd have to sit under the tree and talk to the tree until I could come back in the house and tell the adult what I did wrong, why it was wrong, and why they were upset with me. And after I went through that, then I had to do a chore, whether it was put the dishes away or sweep the floor. What a great way to discipline.
It is a great way. And, the thing I love about what we're talking about today is that we're talking about the elements that connect for all of us, really. The elements that connect or get connected or that we connect to help us get from where we are to where we want to go. If we choose to go there, you made a choice, I made a choice, right?
The key is to listen. And we don't listen.
Exactly.
We assume and we start to yell before we listen to what the other person is saying. In the first part of the book, I added something. You probably don't have it in your copy because we're in the middle of editing the copies and bringing them up to form. And I say, come sit by the window, girls. Listen to the raindrops as they touch the sill. What message are they whispering to you? Listen. Can you hear their song? And of course, this was back when we didn't have television.
No, I know.
Have all of those distractions, and I call them distractions. They are minded distractions to stop us from being who we really are. And we are so overwhelmed with technology now. I think that we're just treading on a treadmill because we have so much technology. Half of us really don't know or appreciate what's there, and it's been overwhelming. I think it's wonderful, but it's been overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it shows up too, and I would love for you to talk about this, is it shows up, and it's showing up quite a bit now, with words like stuck, I'm stuck, or I don't really know what I'm supposed to do in life. I don't really know. And yet, I have found that there's always a voice that is trying to send a message to me. What I want to ask you, how can you, and I know the book talks about this, so when we come back, I want to really go into detail about it. How can we help our listeners today and people that may listen to the show become beautifully attentive, sponge-like listeners?
Well, there's only one way.
Let's hold that thought. We'll be right back, and we're going to tell you what that way is. We've got 2 copies of the book, Unlimited Realities. Elizabeth Joyce joining me here today. We are also taking your calls, 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. We will be right back.
I don't like my mind right now. Stacking up problems that are so unnecessary. Wish that I could slow things down. I want to let go.
Now you can be a part of one of the most powerful programs to help create a more joyful, loving, abundant, and peaceful world. Every day at 12 noon in any time zone, join millions of other people around the world to spend a few minutes in joy, love, and gratitude. Brought to you by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. Together, we can raise the vibration of the planet. For more information, visit globalmomentofjoy.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down, Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Are you stuck in unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, and low self-esteem? Do you crave a life of inspiration, love, self-acceptance, and fun? Sounds like you're on the verge to your next big thing. Join Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio, helping you use your breakdown for a breakthrough, overcome life's greatest challenges, and live the life you want and deserve. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio or visit SeattleHealingHypnosis.com for more information.
'Cause I can't escape the gravity. Holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on.
Wow, everybody, welcome back. Benny, we're going to give away a couple of copies of the book. But before we do, Elizabeth Joyce, my very special guest today, Unlimited Realities is the book. It's a fabulous book. Elizabeth, can we just take a minute, if you don't mind, and let's let folks know, first of all, how they get a copy of the book, and then how do they find out more about you?
Well, the copy of the book is on Amazon.com, along with my other 8 books. And I guess to find out about me is to read the book. You know, Pat, I started this book in 1981. I was told in a dream. I had a dream about a stained glass window. It was beautiful. And it was round, and it was the peace dove holding the palm. And I had this dream, but down in the lower right-hand corner of that stained glass window, it was so black and white. And I said, these must be my lifetimes, and I still have that to live through. And then my second husband, who was the love of my life, dropped dead after 3 years of marriage. It was very sudden. And then I had the out-of-body experience and met him in the universe with my stepson who had been murdered. And they both spoke to me and sent me back and told me I had to write. A few weeks later, I dreamt the name Unlimited Realities. You're writing Unlimited Reality. So this book has got to have some extra juice with it.
Wow. I mean, how do our dreams talk with us? Talk to us, talk with us. You notice what I said, talk with us. And the reason I want to chat with you about that is because some of us are not nighttime dreamers, but we really are daytime dreamers where we get our visions during the day. But there's so much confusion right now about, do I have to be that special 1%, or do I qualify by birth to be able to receive messages?
Everybody can receive messages, Pat. Everybody can sing, but you and I can't sing Barbara Streisand. Same thing. This is what's been hidden, thanks to Dr. Spock and others. What's been hidden is that we have a natural ability, inclination, and a must-do to connect with the universe as we live our life. If we want to live a full life for happiness, joy, compassion, and everything, we've got to tune into others, and we've got to tune into the universe. And I think that this is the way to world peace. And to begin, it's very simple. You just have to have morning meditation and nightly review, and you'll be just fine. And you don't have to listen to anybody about doing 3 hours a day. 5 minutes a day in the morning. Just take a stretch, open up the top of your head, welcome in the light, and I'm talking about the white light and the sun and the white light, and say, thank you, God, or thank you, Spirit, for filling me with your love today, with your love and your warmth. And may I carry it through the day, and may it touch everyone I meet. Then you're done, and you go on with your day. Wow. Nightly review is a little different. Nightly review, you need to have a journal, sit down about your day, and find something to have gratitude, even if it's that your best sports team won the game. Even if I could get dressed today and zip up my zipper, I've lost a couple of pounds. Anything that you can find to have gratitude. And then go through your mind with what happened during the day. If you had an altercation or a slight and you feel bad about it, you have 24 hours to make amends. 24 24 hours. Otherwise, it goes into your body as something missed and guilt, and it causes all kinds of mental, emotional problems. And if you live your life that way, you would be surprised after about 3 months, the joy that comes into your heart. It's amazing.
I want to ask you this, though, because what that is it's instantaneous cleansing of energy, right? Right. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute. We know we've stepped in a pothole. We just know it. And, all of a sudden our ankle starts to hurt a little bit, kind of like the equivalent of our heart. What is it that you've learned talking with people all over the world? What is it that we are longing for? What are we longing to have happen before we can live an amazing life?
Love and acceptance. Love. It's all love. Now, love is a funny word, as you know, Pat. It means a lot of things to a lot of different people. I'm calling it comfort, strong self-esteem, and accomplishment. And we are all here to do different things. Everybody has brought something to the planet. It may be that you got married and you're bringing up your children to be here after you're gone. It may be that you're the one in the family to make peace or to smile. There's always something, and it's always something good. I'm going to tell you, though, there is a key to it, and the key is your astrological chart. What I have found through the study of astrology is that it is your blueprint in life. It's God's birth certificate, and astrology is not about predictions. Astrology is about energy. And the energy in the chart shows you your life path. It shows you what some of your talents were in past lives. And it shows you when you will be challenged. Knowing that, to me, is invaluable. Invaluable. And so here we are.
Well, part of this, too, is I think we are getting messages. We get clues everywhere. And there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes when we think about, well, wait a minute. What did ancient people study? Let me think about that for a minute. How did they do that? Why haven't we become extinct by now, Elizabeth? Because how did we figure out how to heal things, how to cure wounds? How did we figure any of that out? What is it that you work with people to help them see for themselves?
I have to help them let go. I have to help them not want to pay somebody back. I have to help them understand that if Fred or the handsome stranger left them, that was for their own good and that they were protected by their angels because something better is going to come. Everybody that I know dwells in the past, and they cannot let go of a past event. You cannot grow until you can release. And it's really true. Release and let go. Stand in front of your mirror and say, I let it all go, and I welcome what you are bringing me. It's total reliance on spirit, because they are wiser than we are. We don't know the magic and the energies and the triumph that will come, and the joy that will reach your heart once you let go of the door of despair. Fatigue, goodwill, cooperation, and kindness is what we need. We need to let go of fatigue and bring in goodwill, cooperation.
We feel so much better, don't we, when we let go? We really do. I mean, how many millions of times have you heard people say to you, oh, I feel so much better, Elizabeth. I feel so much better.
After the reading all the time. Although sometimes I've had people say to me, well, I know that you told me to do the right thing, and I know what that is, but I don't think I can do it.
Wow.
Yeah. And how many times have you just woken up in the morning and felt refreshed? And that's from your dream state, because we all go back to our soul school pod in our dream state. We're just not aware of it yet. And sometimes we go back and we have lessons. But the blessed higher self can get very frustrated when it can't get through to the body. The blessed higher self is always sending us messages. You mentioned that before. But if we're not going to listen to our gut reaction, if we're not going to listen to our little inner voice, and we override it all the time, we become fatigued.
Wow. I have something for all of you out there that I'm going to read from the book when we come back. But in the meantime, I'd love to give a copy away. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. The book is Unlimited Realities, a memoir born with the gift of sight and natural healing. 1-800-930-2819. When we come back, There's something beautiful I read in the book. And as I read it, I couldn't believe that the tears were coming down my eyes. Now, I don't know why, but that's why Elizabeth Joyce is here. Maybe she could tell me why. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know what you learned in school was wrong, and there is actually a fourth phase of water beyond liquid, vapor, and ice? I know. I too was shocked when I learned this. What makes this new discovery so exciting? In scientific terms, this cutting-edge research explains the energetic potency of water. In practical terms, this missing link of water is now breaking open the floodgates for us to have a more complete understanding of our health, our weather, and the physics of our world. Join researcher, award-winning presenter, and author Professor Gerald Pollack of the University of Washington as he shares new scientific insights about how this fourth phase of water, the sun's energy, and geomagnetism affect our planet, and how this affects you, at East West Bookshop in Seattle on Saturday, August 5th at 7 p.m. For more information or to register, go to eastwestbookshop.com or call 206-523-3726.
Discover the healing medicine from the giant monkey tree frog Cambo. Cambo practitioner Ginny Rutherford and professional psychic Todd Rolson have come together for lively discussions of alternative healing medicines from the Amazon. Ginny and Todd bring you Cambo Talk Radio. Tune in each Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear from guests all over the world with real life stories and the medicinal benefits of Cambo. For more information, visit cambokiss.com.
Known for his keen sense of humor, contagious smile, and extensive esoteric wisdom, EJ translates deep spiritual wisdom into practical advice to empower you to live your happiest, most fulfilled experience. Mystic Living Radio, Deep Spiritual Wisdom, Practical Advice with EJ, Eliyahu Jihan. This hit show delivers profound experiences for all who want to live life to their deepest desires. Tune in monthly for Mystic Living Radio. Learn more by visiting vitaltransformation.org.
Do you want to heal your body and mind? Your body has a lot to tell you if you just learn to listen to your intuition. Audrey Michelle, host of Rewired Life Radio, can help you peel away the layers that are holding you back from living your best life. Tune in to Rewired Life Radio. Learn to love, heal, celebrate on Transformation Talk Radio every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Connect with Audrey at audreymichelle.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. For more information about us, you can go to the Dr. Pat Show. You can go to Transformation Talk Radio. For more information about my very special guest today, you can go to new-visions.com. Is that the best place, Elizabeth?
Yeah, sure. My website. I work very hard on my website.
Yeah. This is the thing I want to say to everybody. We have copies of the book to give away. Unlimited Realities, fabulous book. 1-800-930-2819. Now, Elizabeth, I didn't tell you what the passage was in the book. Do you mind if I read it?
Oh, please do.
Okay. So it's where it's really where you arrived at Haleakala crater.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you go on to say, then out of the center of the crater in a foggy mist rose a figure within a brilliant golden amber light. I recognized the figure as that of the great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda, and tears began to flow from the eyes of everyone. Telepathically, he gave this thought to this small searching group. And this is the thought: giving love to all, feeling the love of God, seeing his presence in everyone, and having but one desire for his constant presence in the temple of your consciousness. That is the way to live in this world. Begin with yourself. There is no time to waste. It is your duty to your part to bring God's kingdom on earth. As we realize the presence and the love of God within, we develop our ability to radiate it without. This is the practical answer to the troubles of humankind, for there is a dynamic relationship between our consciousness and the world conditions. I love that. It's so powerful.
Life. That whole time going up to the mentor was just so powerful.
What was this like for you? What was this like? Because, I mean, I'm just reading it and I'm getting all...
Well, I have to tell you, from the time I was little, I walked with these great teachers. So it wasn't anything new for me. Now, the two guys that I were with were new students. They didn't know what was happening, but they, of course, saw the figure. I told them who the figure was. I related the message to them. I don't know whether they heard it, but I did. So it's something that, remember, I came from a dysfunctional family, and we were battered as children. And my refuge at that time was my invisible guides and mentors. They're the ones that held me and rocked me. Pat, my mother couldn't hold me till I was a year old. And I don't think anybody can imagine that.
I think it's hard for us to imagine that.
Sure.
But for those of us, that come from places where situations like that have happened, or other situations where we felt so out of sorts that, in my case, I ended up homeless at 17. There's no rational explanation when you're in the middle of it. So let me ask you this question, if we could. How can we help ourselves move forward regardless of the situations in the world, the situations in our day-to-day, the jobs we have, the politics of our country, whatever country you're in? What do you do and say to help people?
I think there needs to be three things that are understood, realized, and accept. And if you can do this, you're going to be all right. The first thing is you chose to be there. The circumstances that are happening are supposed to happen. They've been programmed to happen. So you have to love them, understand them, and accept them instead of fighting them. And then you need to connect to the outer world, the world beyond the earth, and to allow that energy to guide you, to trust it. But there's something going on. There's also an astral battle going on, and we have some evil energy pretending to be masters as well. And how do you know? Well, you know by the feeling of clarity. Because sometimes you'll say something and you'll feel muddled and you won't feel right about it. And sometimes you'll say something and you'll feel absolutely fine about it. And what we do is we go along with the not feeling fine to please other people. And we can't do that. If you feel that there is some kind of undercover feeling when you're agreeing to something or talking to somebody, you're picking up on something, then you have to give yourself time to figure out what it is. I'll get back to you. Well, let me think about it. Let me sleep on it for 24 hours. These are good ways to keep your personhood. Instead of just saying yes all the time, or I guess I'll do that, or overextending yourself. You have to keep your person. 3 times this week I've had to say no, that won't work. And of course it's how you say it, but you have to be able to say it. People can't say no, and they can't take care of themselves properly.
But don't you think that we've never been quite at this place of people pleasing where we are today? And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, we're so exposed. And, you could go to the grocery store. I think about these celebrities, you know what I mean? They go out and they go to the grocery stores. Poor Jennifer Garner, all she has to do is go to the grocery store and everybody wants to talk about Ben Affleck. I mean, her life is like this open book. And yes, of course, they've signed up for that. But the point is, they're not alone. Any one of us on any given day doing just about anything that we do can have some kind of public distribution of our lives go everywhere. So do you know what I mean? It's like
I think
we've had to raise the bar.
I think we've had an invasion of privacy. Again, I don't think we have discipline. I think it's godless what people are doing to expose other people and butting into people's business that's none of their business. Now, you asked me about the feelings. Back in the 20s and 30s, and back in the old 1800s, when we had plantations and slaves, people had to keep face, save face, pretend. Mm-hmm. And they pretended more then than they do now. Mm-hmm. So this being politically correct, to me, it just makes me laugh. I don't believe in being politically correct. I believe in being Elizabeth correct, and you believe in being Pat correct.
I do. I really do. I really do.
And if people are going to be uncomfortable with that, then they have to ask themselves why. There's a new commercial out this year, and it's a hoot, where the neighbor is going over with a pie, and the other neighbor says, "You want to come in and snoop?" And she said, "Oh, yes, that's why I came." Well, it's really speaking your truth in a very funny, comical way. I love it. Because what we're getting to. There's been so much cover-up, so much lies, so much deceit. You want to talk about false news, but let's just talk about falsehoods. And there are people, especially in government, that don't have a clue about Americans and how we live. We have to come from the heart. And so many of us since the 1960s have learned to come from the heart. And you come from the heart when you know the heart. If you don't know the heart, you can't come from it. You have to come with what is the best for you. God bless you in your truth. Whatever is the best for you.
Yeah. You pointing something very, very important out. Now, why was it when we look at different generations, and I think it's happening now. See, I think we go through these cycles of things. You referenced, McCarthy and World War II. Then, of course, we went through the 60s, and we had things go on there. And then, it was kind of like, well, we don't really have a lot to think about, to protest about. But then all of a sudden, a new cycle shows up. This morning, I found myself in awe that I woke up and I thought to myself, I cannot believe millions of people will not have health care. Because it's kind of like I couldn't believe it.
That is going to happen, unfortunately.
And one of the things I did, which was very different than get up and start to tweet and all this about angry stuff, I thought to myself, I don't even know if that's a true statement. So I went and I gathered information from the Medicaid website. And I decided I just want to look. I mean, I want to be educated. I don't want to be like crazy and not be educated. And what I found was interesting. So I started to send messages to some of the people they listed, right? And what I found was the senator who's kind of leading the charge is from Kentucky. And I thought, oh my God, Kentucky has had 105% increase in Medicaid participants. And then I just thought to myself, why don't we know this?
That's so funny.
Is that funny? And so I sent a message out, and what I did was
something. Listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
An eclipse coming.
What?
We have an eclipse coming.
Yeah, I know.
It's the event of the summer. No, don't say yeah, no. Listen to me very carefully. You just gave me information I didn't know before.
Okay.
And the center heart of the eclipse is over Kentucky and part of Tennessee. Now you just think about what you just said, and you think about what that's going to happen. We are going to have this new health care path. You know what bothers me about all of it? Obamacare, Trump care, all of it? Why can't they go to the insurance companies and take back their power like they had in the 50s and 60s? And why can't they make the insurance companies accept preconditions, force them to lower the rates, and make them accept hospitals in the area without this control? An HMO, to me, should be thrown out the window. I grew up in an era where the doctor came to the house. Why can't they realize that people in different areas need different kinds of care? Why do they have to continually make millions at your throat?
Mm-hmm.
They have not had a health care package for the past 20 years that's suitable because everybody wants their hand in the pie. And that's sad because that's not helping mankind. That's helping pockets, your inner pockets. And until they get to the place where it changes, this will continue. And the only way that's going to happen is when we have an uproar and try to stop it. But that's very painful. It's a shame that we don't have somebody in there that can lead. Good old
I just think with all the information we got going on, I'm baffled. I got to tell you, I'm baffled. With all the information we have going on at our fingertips, I was a little bit like, okay, I'm not going to do like angry, whatever it is. I'm going to try information. And that's what I did. I just went down the list. I looked at the various states and the folks that were looking at doing A, B, C, and D, and I just sent them a message. And I sent them a link.
And I tell everybody, and that's very good, that we need to have groups in every town of people that are meditating and working on the energies the way you just said. Because we visualize an outcome, it will happen. So we have to raise the consciousness just by being in our quiet little groups. Again, you would be surprised. And you could never predict the new energies and the triumphs that will come and work it out.
Yeah. Don't you think we have to open up the dialogue here, though? I mean, and I really do mean the dialogue. I mean, I understand that we're getting more educated. People are having town halls. We have the internet. We have radio. But there's a dialogue that is so important. I said to someone the other day, a woman, 44 years, she's 44 years old. And, we were talking about this very issue. And she's like, well, we don't have to worry, we don't have to worry. I said, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. Either your mother is seriously wealthy, which I know she's not, but what are you thinking now, you as the family? I said, do you know that this extra money for your mom and assisted living, do you know where that comes from? I think we have a situation where we just don't know things. I don't know. Am I being naive? Am I naive?
No, you're not naive. They are. What they don't understand is that there is another scheme that's even greater than the healthcare scheme, and that's our money. They're going to start having different money. We're going to lose our worldwide power with money. That's the plan. And they're going to start something called the Fed coin. Do not ever, ever go into the Fed coin. Do not do it. They're going to try and take away cash. They've already stopped printing $100 bills and $500 bills. And they want everything to be on the internet because then they can go in and take your taxes without asking you.
Oh, boy.
Be breaking a law. They can wipe out your trust account, your savings account, your IRA, and they can stop you from shopping at stores. They can stop you from getting your Social Security if they want to, all by keying up the computer. And they're going to sell it. Oh, well, you'll be safe. They're already, do you know, this is horrible. They're starting to put the chip into people in Wisconsin at jobs. I hope not.
Are you kidding?
Chip. No, ma'am, I'm not. That was in the news today. You cannot ever take the chip. If you take the chip, you're selling your soul to the devil. If you take the chip, you are losing your freedom immediately. If you go into the Fed coin, you are losing your monetary freedom. What can you do to protect yourself? There's two things you can do. One is save cash. Keep at least $1,000 to $5,000 of cash in the house. You're going to need to this next year. And you need to buy gold. And I'm talking about gold coins. I'm not talking about gold paper. I just did a radio show last week that one can download from bbsradio.com on Let's Find Out and listen to it because I explained it in full. And we know that this is coming. Saturn is coming into Capricorn. That's the hand of the Father. Saturn is in Capricorn, and this happens in December. For 2.5 years, we're going to go through changes that are unkind, changes that are not for the welfare of people. We're going to go through destruction before reconstruction, and it's very difficult because spirit works a lot slower than we do. You know that, right?
Well, and one of the things that I love about this is being able to understand the dynamics of a life where we're going to choose. One of our hosts, Lynn Brown, she has been saying exactly what you've been saying about the whole change in money and saying it in a way that the world, just like you just did, has to be willing to hear it. But, I don't think we were far off when we looked at some of these movies that were put together, way back in the 50s and 60s where they, right?
Right. I think the movie theater is our predictor.
Yes, thank you.
We had a female president. We had a black president. In the movies, I remember a book that was published in the early 70s. It was called The Man. It was from Grissom by Grissom or somebody very well known. And it was about a black president, our first black president. You should read it. It's called The Man. It was really something about what he went through.
So what can we say to people that are listening? Because we've been through a lot as a society over time, a lot. What can we say to them so that the folks listening can build up resilience, stamina, and spirituality?
Well, the only way they can is to really be willing to find wisdom and strength. You've got to find your antidote, your special way of alleviating your stress, worry, and fear. And you have to transform all of your failures into successes because there is no failure. You need to develop your inner security in an insecure world and refine your human relationships. Stop hating everybody. Stop commenting. Stop all of this stuff. I didn't like her shoes. She's nobody. Stop that stuff. That's awesome. I wrote a book. I wrote another book in 2014. I wrote it in 6 weeks. And it's called Seeding and Nurturing the Garden of Your Soul. And it will be very helpful to many people because it's a teaching book. Unlimited Realities was more kind of like my own book. It's not a novel. It's all true, every bit of it. But it's kind of like a novel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And you read it. But Garden, Seeding and Nurturing the Garden of Your Soul, I call the book Garden. It should be in every church and by every bedside in the world because it teaches you the finesse about life. Very helpful.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. We all, I believe, have psychic abilities.
Yes.
And I think if there was ever a time that we need to tap into that, I think the time is now to help us be true to ourselves, but to take what I consider to be heartfelt action. How can we do that better? What can you share with folks to help them along the way?
I have a saying that I use every time I'm asked that question. It goes like this: the way in is the way out, and the way out is the way in. We have to go within. We have to begin to sit, get quiet, and listen at least 15 or 20 minutes a day so that you know what's going on inside. Most of us don't. When we start feeling a feeling of loss or closeness or nervousness or upset, we start talking, or we start putting on the television, or we put on music. We do something to disrupt the quiet. Sit and listen to the raindrops as they are dropping on the sill. What are they saying to you?
Wow. Thank you so much for today. Again, please tell folks how they can find out more about you, how they can get a copy of your books, any and all of your books. And thank you. Your personal message. What would you like to leave us with?
I do have a 24-hour answering service if you'd like to call and book a reading, and that's 201-934-8986. And the website is new-visions.com. That's like the dash that you put between phone numbers. new-visions.com. All of my books are on Amazon.com. And
wow.
What's
your personal message? Yeah, please.
The healing experience with the mainstream comes from within. Louise Hay taught us that every single disease comes from a thought. It does. We need to know that. Not argue with it. Not say, well, it was the atmosphere or whatever. Just know that we can't have anything unless we are open to accept it, whatever it is. And know that your confusion and your upset can be straightened out, and it doesn't take long. Don't keep running about with your wacky life. Figure what's going on and figure where you fit in and what you can do that's for the best for all concerned. Always say, I would like to do the best for all concerned. And always experience the joy of helping those who come to you.
I love that. I find that today in my life, I find being of service to others who do come, I find that really today not just fulfilling, but my soul's pathway seems to be directed. And boy, thank God for the people that helped me along the way.
Oh, sure. But, service is wonderful, Pat. And of course, we pay it forward. We always do. The fact that we're stable and can continue in our lives to be productive and help others open up is a gift.
It is. Wow. Thank you so much for today. Thank you. Hey, everybody, the book, Unlimited Realities, Elizabeth Joyce. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.